Yo, what's up guys? So in today's video we're going to be talking about these light trail overlays that are pretty cool, and I'm going to be talking about how to make them and how to put them in your work, and I'm also going to be giving away some free assets as well. So yeah, by the time this video is out, I probably released a picture on my Instagram with these light trail overlays that are pretty cool, and it adds this really cool dimension to the photo that I think can make you think, oh, was that done in camera, was that done in post, whatever. Adds that dynamic to it, adds some emotion to it, and can really change your composition really. So basically how you make these light trail overlays is that you have to have a pitch black room, or as close to pitch black as you can get, and you have to have some lights that you can use, and you basically set your camera to a slower shutter, and then you remote control it or do your phone or whatever, so you can step away from the camera, and then, or you can set it on a timer, and then you can move the lights in a unique way. And yeah, that's basically it. It's not too hard. I do recommend that you have some colored lights and some flexible lights. So for when I did it the first time, I used these LED strips that I taped onto my drawer right there, the desk, whatever, and I taped it 100 times, but it's falling apart anyways. But anyways, I do recommend using that over the Yongnuo 360, which I'm going to be using for this video, and because the lights are a bit more flexible and you can get some kind of more playing room with it and just be a bit more dynamic with it, whereas with the Yongnuo 360 you're limited with a stick. But again, you can kind of change that in post, but it's always better, just as a general rule of thumb, it's always better to do it right in production, because you're just going to be wasting time and you might not even get that specific outcome that you're looking for in post. So always do it in production if you can. So for these kind of photos, I think it's best if you can use it on some kind of somewhere where there's already some kind of neon lights, where you can kind of play along with it. So it's not too over the top. You're not gonna put these in some portrait photo taken on a sunny day or something like that. You want to work with the environment, and ideally you want to kind of make these kind of subtle to the point where you it could be there, so yeah, like I said, for this video I'm going to be working with the assets that I came up with before, but there shouldn't be a difference, and I'm going to be giving away these for free anyway. So this is my favorite one that I made. I just took a few photos, so I didn't really get too extensive with it, but basically go screen, and yeah, it's basically an overlay, right? So, and you can put it here, whatever, and then like I said, if you didn't get a color that you liked in production, you can go to the hue adjustments, and then you can click Alt, so you just affect the overlay layer, and then you can change the hue. So I probably want this to be somewhere closer to the purple in the picture, and yeah. And with these overlays, like I said, in production you don't have to get the shape entirely right, and you may not even physically be able to create the shape that you want. Control it and then go to warp or something like that, and then you can really customize it how you like. You can't completely customize it, but you can do a lot with it. So let's try to distort. I'm gonna try rasterizing this one actually, and then I think you get a few more options. Let me see. Yeah, you can just mess around with these ones. I think. I don't know how you get to puppet warp. I think usually warp is good enough though. But I think once I did puppet warp. I'm not too sure, but yeah, you can just kind of play around with it, and then you can always do things like feather it a little bit, just so it's not super clean. I meant to do something like this, or not, or this. Yeah, that's what I meant to do. Yeah, just make it more clean, but if you want to make it more prominent as well, you can duplicate the layer, and then you can add another one of these, or you can put these in a group, and then you can put this above, and then put that into the group. So yeah, and you can obviously do other adjustments, like set a curves layer and then make it pop out a little more, and make it more make the effect more prominent. And you can add additional blurring, because this effect is kind of like a adding some motion blur to the picture almost, right? So for the original picture, you probably want to add some blurring to it too. So we're just gonna go to this ellipse tool, and then we're gonna add a feather of maybe like 100, so pretty feathered, and then duplicate it, and then for this layer we're just gonna add some blur into it. So I like to use radio blur or motion blur for this effect, and then yeah, and try zoom or spin. Yeah, so that one is a bit too much for my liking, but it does add to that light overlay that we added, and we can obviously blur the overlay as well. I'm just going to show you guys the tools. This is definitely not something I would do personally. This is just a bit too extreme. Like I said, you probably want to do something a little more subtle, but most of the time this would be probably used in concert photography. Like I said, you want to work with the neon lights, you want to work with the environment. Another case would be like a night shot where you get like the city lights in there, and it's best if you got some like slow exposure in your camera as well, so you can kind of work with that. So for the next example, I'm just going to be going over this city shot I took, and we're just going to be adding these light overlays to it. So slow exposure shot I took in Shanghai of the Pearl Tower. I think it looks pretty cool, and we can add these light overlays to there. So go to screen, and bam, like that. It adds like another dimension to it already. Makes it a lot more unique. And then you can kind of go there, just make it a bit more subtle, and then Command J, and then maybe flip it, and then put it on this side, just to like mirror it. It's not finding the guidelines, but it's close enough, you know, just to add some of that color, because adding this color and adding these shapes can totally change the feel of your picture and can change your composition even, basically. So these lines are kind of like redirecting you to look at the Pearl Tower, and it just adds so much more dimension. And like I said in my other tutorials, you definitely want to work with color, so definitely a way to add some color to your image, and you can balance out some photo colors and make complementary colors, whatever. And yeah, so say maybe we want to add some like orange colors to balance out these blues, right? Because they're like kind of opposites. And maybe add this one right here and put it here, something like that, and make it screen. And then, like I said, we could go to hue and change just this one, and then make it more orange. But as you can see, it's not like as good looking as if we would to do an orange one. But yeah, you can always have that option to change. And then maybe you want to add some more blurring to it. You probably want to do a motion blur or radial blur to it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. The assets will be in the description down below, and I have shown some examples throughout this video of how I use them in the past, so hopefully that gives you some inspiration. I did give you the tools in this video, so hopefully you guys did learn something and can apply your own design principles to your own photos. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff.